Okay, good evening, Ashwati. Okay, let's begin the session. Good evening to both YouTube and Zoom team. Thank you for joining today's session. Today we will try to wind up the TestNG module. Just one topic is pending, data provider. And also one more topic is there, that is log4j. Right now, in most of industries, they try to avoid using the log4j because recently what happened just few months before, some complaints issues came. I'll show you. You can just Google and check it. Log4j vulnerability. This one. So this created some issues. It gave a very high security impact because this is log4j is an logging framework. It's a separate framework to log the application, this particular log4j. So what happened is it will go and try to access all types of files, and recently some big impact issue happened. So nowadays I'm not teaching this topic. You can see here, found in log4j, an open source logging library commonly used in apps and services across internet. Attackers can break into systems, steal password, logins, extract data, and infect networks with malicious software. So this is the one issue. So what you can do, you can theoretically glance this already. What do you mean by log4j? Maybe I'll just give you a glance. But again, don't try to implement this in your project unless you get an approval from the client and the key member. Mostly everyone trying to disable in present frameworks, especially big service based companies. Like we have reporter.log, like this log4j, it's another logging framework. And this is not for the TestNG, it is for all types of automation framework. So we can able to generate the logs, and it is having three components: logger, appenders, and layout. So how we are going to capture all the log message in what level? Level in sense whether we have to give everything or error message, warning message, debug on information. Like this, we fatal means if there is any issue in the system, we can able to give the log, because most of the test case, if it fails pass, we must know, right, why it is getting passed, why it is getting failed. So this log4j was very useful. And again, it is having file appenders, rolling file appenders. So how the file needs to be created, either in the console or in an HTML file or .text file, everything we can able to create a layout. So this is the one simple example. I will show you a simple code where I have implemented for the last batch. Again, I'm saying this is just for knowledge purpose. Don't try it in the organization. Even though the issue is fixed, but still, I don't want to advise you on this. I'm just giving an overview just for interview purpose. It's a logging framework. TestNG. 1 minute. Log4j. A simple .java file I have created it. So in this file, for example, log.info, this will pass an information. And again, like debug, error. So in the, for example, in the else condition, you can give like this log.error, log.warning message, like this data is not there, application is logged. Like this, we can able to give different levels of logging thing and how the log will look like. See, execution started, application is launched, failed, test data issue, and this is a one type of application.log and Selenium log. Usually we are communicating through the APIs, right? So you can see how the backend code, this is how the backend communications is getting happened. So while creating a framework, every architect will put this into the design part, so that if something is getting failed, this debug messages and all will be very useful for anyone to understand why the test case is getting failed. So one is like automation, that is Selenium log, another one is the entire application log. And this is created within properties files, like how we are going to create this, that is log and Selenium file. So those design can be done. So what is the path of it? What is the maximum size that file should have? And what is the pattern layout? Everything we can able to customize it. So this already, I think I have uploaded to the Canvas module. I will, if not, I will try to upload it again. Just I will zip and upload it. But again, just for interview purpose, glance it. So in simple, it's a logging framework. We are using it in the framework level to get logged in different scenarios, that is passed, failed, debug, fatal. And we can able to create two types of files. One is the application, what we are executing, the message which we are giving it. So that we call it as application log. Another one is the entire Selenium log, how it is communicating between server and the Eclipse and the server finally. So this is how we have to create the log file, and creating a log file like new file, you have to put name.log. That's it. Like how we put dot properties, same way dot log. Then only this you can see the extension dot log. So that's about the log4j. And again, I'm saying this is a framework used in even by the developer, JUnit tester, TestNG, NUnit, all the types of frameworks, they use this particular framework. So that's about the log4j. Now let's back to, it is also mentioned in the slides. It is all the materials already available. Okay. Let's go back to the one small topic. The reason why I didn't teach you, you will understand now. In last week, we understood how to read the test data from the Excel sheet with the help of data-driven framework. This we already knew it. And how can we achieve same type of code in the TestNG? So it is possible with the help of data provider. So whenever someone says data provider, it is about, it's another way to pass the parameter in the test function. So different values. In other words, the data-driven concept can be achieved. So you want to execute different set of data for a particular fixed flow, then that is nothing but the data-driven, right? So how can we achieve, and what is an annotation in TestNG means? You have to tell this word, data provider. So we'll try to do that with some sample code for better clarity. So let me go to TestNG. Okay, data provider is not there. So let me create first a package called data providers. One simple Java file. So how I am going to explain is step by step. One simple program, how the data will be saved in the data provider, and another one that will be replaced by the Excel sheet, and then you itself will tell what is the plus and minus of that particular program. Then Java collection. At the end, I will go back to the framework and tell how hash table is implemented in the framework. So a simple TestNG file, let's try to create it. Testing para finish. If you want, I can create one simple Excel sheet, the test data. So what is the test data we are going to create? For example, if we anyhow we are going to read it from the Excel sheet, but as of now, just try to understand this concept. It's quite confusing in terms of allocation, but still I'll try my best. You want to save Vinoth. Okay, let me put first name, last name like this. I want to save it. Like this, three values. So if already we learned one thing in the web table, that dynamic web table, whenever we talks about dynamic web table, it starts from 0th row and 0th column. So the same story applicable here also. If you see this one, I don't have the pen today. So this is the 0th column. Always the column start with 0 and row starts with 0. This alone you should keep it in mind. So if that is the case, then what will be the cell of this one? It will be 0, 0. Maybe I can directly replace it here. Okay. This cell allocation will be 0, 0. What is the meaning? This is 0th row, 0th column. And what about this one? It is always first will come rows, again will come column. So 0th row, first column. And just teaching you the allocation, how this will be stored in the table when we read it. So this will be row. Row means first row, column is 1. And this will be first row, column is first column. Then second row, 0th column. And this one, second row, first column. Again, third row, 0th column. Then third row, first column. Just ping me if everyone understood this memory allocation. This is a basic for next 1 hour. First, everyone clear? Just ping me. Zoom team, please ping me. Okay, perfect. Especially this data, how it is saved us in terms of 2-dimensional array. If I want to save this type of data, so we have already gone through the 1-dimensional array. 1-dimensional array, we know how this value will be saved. 1D array in Java. Okay, go to the images. See, 1-dimensional array, we already know based on the indices, starts from the 0, like 1 by 1 value, it will save it. If it is a 2-dimensional array, that is nothing but rows and columns. This is how it will be saved. If I want to save a value in a 2-dimensional array, means it's like a matrices. I think we learned in school, right? Rows and columns, not school, in the colleges. So rows and columns. So you can able to see 0th row, 0th row, first row, sorry. It starts with 0th row and 0th row, 0th column. So column 0, 1, 2, row 0, 1, 2. So we have to save this value like this only. You can able to see here also. While reading, I have to read from that Excel sheet. During runtime, I want to create a two-dimensional array and save it here. This is the one we want to achieve it. And this first, I will try to put this value directly in the program. Then I will try to read it from the Excel sheet. Let's increase the complexity step by step so that you don't feel it tough. So what is the first one? The program. Okay, let's put like okay, register user. A simple name. Register user. You want to execute this particular method with 3 set of data. I'm not going to give all the data, just 3 set of data. It is first name and last name. It is going to be a string data type. First name and last name. It's all in the brown color, local variable. So I want to retrieve during runtime and print it here. First, let me complete the code. I'm going to follow a sequence like a reverse model. So that is, this is the final expected results. Now, I want to create a two-dimensional data during runtime table. So for that, I should give a name. That name, the table name, see the table name I am giving. It can be anything. I am giving like get data. It can be anything. I'm giving just get data. So, okay. It means what? We have to save that. Then what is an annotation? So we have to create a table name called get data. How can be done in the TestNG is with the help of data provider. And you can see markup method as supplying data for the test method. This is a test method, no? That is what they mean to say. So like this. So here, if you see how this values it is utilizing, how it is reading it. Till now, if you consider in the Excel sheet while reading, we have a different types of data, primitive data type in one word, that is int, short, float, double, everything. But here, the Java collection concepts also will be used here. So in this particular TestNG, how it is designed, every value will be reading it as object. Second important point. Every data is passed as an object. See this green color, this is very important. These are all talking points. When you want to explain with this only, you can do it. Every data is passed as an object, entire object as an object. So data provide annotation. No worries, the same example we are going to see in 3 programs. You will get definitely better clarity at the end. As of now, like bits and pieces, every small portion I will teach. Let's create a method to create a table called get data. It can be any name. Table name can be anything, but I'm giving get data. So I'm creating a user defined method, public return type. As I already said here, we will be processing everything as an object. If you see here, that particular documentation also will tell we are passing it as an object. There is nothing called primitive data type, int, float, string, nothing like that. We will pass everything as an object and as a 2D. So 2 square bracket. And what is the name of that table? It is get data. How many of them clear about this line 18 or no? You're creating a simple user defined method. The method name is get data and return type is object. We are processing every value as an object till this word. Is that clear? Everyone, please ping me. Even parallelly, YouTube also should be. Okay, perfect. Let's try to complete that. So we are going to save the values in the two-dimensional array. For that, like in 1D, we have to declare the array and the size, right? That's how we have learned already. Same way, 2D also we have to declare data type, variable name equal to new data type and its size. If you want 2D array declaration, see here, two-dimensional array with both dimension, data type, int, and 2 square bracket, name of the variable with new keyword and the same data type, and this is the row and the column. This is how we have to declare the two-dimensional array. And here we are going to process everything as an object. Object is the data type. So object, then 2 square bracket, name of the array. I will keep it like a data. It can be anything, equal to new, once again, object. This is the place where confusion will come. We have to mention row and column. Row, as of now, in this is the one we are going to create it in the program. Usually we will not consider the first column, sorry, first row. So it will start from here. So totally 3 rows, right? As of now, this is the data we are going to create it. During runtime, I will not consider this. So these 3 data, that is first name and last name, 3 rows are there. Fixed one, I'm just hard coding. So row is 3. And column is the total number of columns you are going to pass. That here it is first name and last name. And very important, if there is any mismatch, put here, if any mismatch in the column value, then exception we will get it. We will get the exception. Okay. We'll get the exception. Okay. Let me do positive scenario and then negative scenario. So we have creating 3 rows and 2 columns. The name of that is data variable. So first we are saving it in. Now, as of now, let's just imagine this is the value I'm going to save it. Then what will happen? The values will change us like 0 row, 0 column, like this. Just imagine we are 0 row, 0 column, 0 row, first column, 0 row, second column, like this. So if that's the case, always 0 row. In the first cell, I'll be saving the value Vinoth. Same way, 0 row, first column, the value will be equal to R. Okay, let us like this. Okay, like this, 0, we already know this is the data we are saving here. Let's try to copy this. second row, third row. You can have any row. As of now, let's go with the hard coded value. Then comes the second one, 0th row. This is the first row. First row, 0th column. First row, 0th column. Then first row, first column is A. Then this one. Second row, 0th column. Second row, first column. Second row, 0th column. Second row, first one. And now V. So 3 values like this we have created. So after creating, during runtime, we are creating a table that it will be used by in different places. So I have to return it. How will you return? It is return that name of that. So in this particular date, in this particular variable, 2-dimensional variable only, a memory is created with 3 rows and 2 columns. All these values are saved. It's all happening during runtime in the temporary memory. And finally, I am passing it in the variable called data. Okay, perfect. Now I want to use it in the test. How can we do that? Let me put, see, we have so many attributes in that data type it, you'll get data provider. See, data provider. And what is the return type? It is a name of the data provider of the test method. In string, we should give it. So it means data provider equal to in string within the double quote, give the name of that data table. We have created get data. Okay. I got it. I actually started with, okay. The scenario which I already taught you is, that is for the next scenario. As of now, just imagine this one. Leave about the first row, that first name and last name, just leave about it. Let's start with this 0th row, first column. First row, 0th column. First row, first column. So in 2-dimensional array, we can save value like this only. Let me reduce second row, 0th column. Header is not considered. Second row, first column. Now you see with this and this 0 0 0 1 and then 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 2 0 2 1. So this table we are creating during runtime, and that name is data, get data. Use the help of data provider. Now see here, I am just going to use it in a method, a test method, and 2 column name I am declaring. The first one column is nothing but the first name, second one is the last name. And what is the name of this table? It's a get data. So how can I call this 2-dimensional data? With the help of data provider attribute equal to the name of that table needs to be given with the double quotes, a string. If we execute this, this is like 0th level. I will show you with the Excel sheet. As of now, try to get the feel of the 2-dimensional array. See here what is happening. First execution, it printed Vinoth R. Second iteration, it printed Anand. Third iteration, it printed Pranav V. All 3 set of data. It is printing, see. So is it not an iteration? It is a data driven, right? It is trying to read it from the 2-dimensional data and printing it. Is it clear to everyone till now? If everyone is clear, then only I will move to the next topic. Is it clear till now? Let me wait for you guys. Okay. You want to create a two-dimensional. So what is the prerequisite for this topic is you must know what is array, one-dimensional array. Without that, you will not understand, which we already completed in Java. So one-dimensional array is the prerequisite. Then I want to save a data like this. It is nothing but rows and column, a two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array will be how we will be creating a return type, that is data type, variable name equal to size of the two-dimensional array, rows and column. See, very important, you should not do any mistake in the column. Just think it logically. If we are going to read it from the Excel during runtime, we are not going to increase the column. Columns are fixed, it's an Excel sheet, right? But what about rows will be keep on changing. So this factor, this will going to be a dynamic, it will never create any problem, but this is a static. Now I will show you. We are passing the two columns, right? So I will make it here 3, but here we used only 2. See what will happen. It will throw the exception. Very famous interview question. What problem in the data providers, especially in this column? What is an exception? Clearly saying like it's a method matcher exception. While trying to read, it is unable to define view was found the data type either explicitly or it's giving a very weak message. Sometimes we may not get what is the meaning of it, but the reason is because of the column. Okay, let me put here two column. Now maybe let me put like comma. Here you mentioned 3, like email ID. Here 2, but here 3. Now also you will get the exception. Always try to learn the exception. See, same problem. Method matcher exception. Let me copy this. What is an exception? So method matcher exception. So rule number 1, two-dimensional array need to do it. Rule number 2, we should always process all the data as an object. Rule number 3, the columns must match, especially while passing it. Simple. I hope you everyone clear this basic fundamentals. Now the same example, let's try to do it with the help of Excel sheet. Okay, for that again, let's try to use, I have already created some methods. 1 minute. Excel utility, that's not here. In data driven framework, we have created an Excel utility. Let me copy that and put it here. So I hope you all remember what this utility will do. Again, it is asking us to add the POM.xml. Okay. POM.xml, because it's an Excel sheet, right? Apache POI. Let me try to get it from another project. What are all the data for Excel handling? These are all the dependency. Already these data are attached in the important dependency under the Maven module. Okay, let me add that dependency. Maven stack. After that, this one. Excel utility. Whether this issue there. Okay. Let's try to find it out. Excel beans, Apache POI, POAM XML. Okay. Maven dependency for Excel in Java. MVN repository. This one. UI API based on OLXML common API to access the Microsoft format files. I think we have to add 2 to 3, 5.22 version, Apache, ORG. Let's try to see whether we have added one is XML, POAM. Okay, let's try to add it one by one. Control C. I think both of them same. Let's go with the latest version. This one is added. Then the next dependency. Let's go back. Go back. Let's add this one, this one. This one, POI O XML. Okay. This one added. So let's always go with the latest version. Then what about this one? This one schema. Is error gone, team? Can you all able to see error is gone? It means what? These three dependency, we must add it. Tab. If you select all tab means automatically it will move. See all the jar files added in the Maven dependency. Okay. And just an overview, we already know how to read an Excel. We are trying to use the concept of constructor in that passing the Excel path, that workbook path and the sheet name. Then we are trying to find the row count and then row count with the help of get physical number of rows. Then again the column. Here there is no column count. Let me try to create it. And then how to get a value, that sheet, row, for row, what is the cell with the help of get string cell value. This is a one. And I will show you one more latest code. I didn't teach you that first time because you may get more confused one. Now I'm just going to show some upgraded version of Excel utility. So these topics are already taught during the data-driven framework. We have another desktop, TestNG. Is there any utility here? Yes. Excel reader. Okay. Okay. This is the reader I needed. I will copy this, replace with that one. I will copy and put it here. Then let's go to that one. We'll replace it. This Excel reader is quite advanced one. See, data provider in TestNG is another way to pass the parameter in the test function at test. And we can pass different values to the TestNG test case in a single execution. And it is an inbuilt, it's a part of inbuilt TestNG data driven testing, for which TestNG is quite popular. So how can you implement a data-driven framework in TestNG means with the help of data provider concept. If you tell the data provider word, you are in. So Excel reader. Okay, fine. So what is this particular same function, little bit updated. You see here, we already know how to find the total number of rows with the help of sheet.get physical number of rows. Same way, we can also able to get the total we want actually. So get column count. So that sheet, for example, this sheet, in the sheet, if you think logically, the columns are fixed. For example, if you see how many column, it will be 2. For next row, it will be 2. For next row, it will be 2. It is not going to be dynamic. So to reduce the complexity, sheet dot, we are just considering the zeroth row. Zeroth row means what? This one. The first name, those data we are considering. Another word, we have a test data here also, right? This one. So we are considering this one. So this not going to change even if I check it here, if I check it here. The number of column count will be fixed, no? That is what we are taking the zeroth row. And how can I find the total number of columns? The method name is get physical number of cells. This will tell the total column count. And then in the previous one, I taught you how to get the cell value, that is string cell value. Actually, what we did in the Excel sheet, we have to go and mention like single quote so that automatically the value will be converted to string. But there is another workaround. By chance, if the person who going to fill the test data is not providing that single quote, means it's not an issue. What we will do, we will try to check that particular cell, what is its data type. For example, if it is a string means, then no issue. So first we are trying to find the data type of that particular cell. If it is a numeric means, so you are mentioning a number like 6000100 in the pin code means, what will happen is at the place of pin code. So this is like this. If someone forgot to give the single quote, not an issue. This is nothing but the integer, right? Numeric. So actually this is the data type of that. When you read, we will get the output like 6001000.00. So what I am doing, I am trying to convert that to integer. It's coming like a float type. So int, if I put, it will convert like this. And finally, I want to process everything as a string. So here there is one interview question. We already know how to convert a string to integer, that is integer dot %. Same way, how will you convert as integer to string means? The answer is string dot value of. What this will do is, this will convert the numeric value. If it is a string, we have to use get string value. If it is a numeric, it is get numeric value. And everything we are trying to read it in its written in its own data type. And finally, we are converting that value as a string. If someone gives true means, we have to make it as a string, no? So how will you read that data? It is get boolean cell value and then string of value, string dot value of. So all the data in the Excel sheet, if they are following, if they didn't give the single quote also, this method, it will take care of it. This is just an upgraded version of the one which we learned last week. If you're not getting it, no problem. These are all some important method. If you're like 6 to 7 years experience going for an interview means, they will expect you to know what are all the methods which is available in the function library, which I already said. So they will ask you, can you tell some methods available in your framework? Means you can tell this thing, Excel utility, capture screenshot, and what are the methods like get row count, column count, get cell data. Like this, you can explain. Like 2 to 3 is more than enough. Okay. Now let's try to use this Excel utility. I will delete this. The name is Excel Reader, which is having the final version of code. Okay. This one we try to implement it. Again, the same story. Where data provider. Okay. Let me create one simple test case. Not with multiple, with very simple test case like register demo, testing para, try version for TestNG Excel utility. As a TestNG class, same story. We will compare and study. Here we created the register user no. Same thing I'm going to do it here. No big difference. But the number of values, let's try to increase like string, pin code, 3 values. You can have a number of values for easy input pin code because we have the numeric also. Let's see whether it is able to handle the using the Excel utility. So first part is done. Now we have to create the data provider stuff. It's nothing but this one, data provider. This one we have to create it. Let me copy this. Copy this, paste it here. Again, test data, I have to mention it, right? So where shall we create test data? Okay, let's try to create a folder. Test data. In the test data, let's go and create an Excel sheet with 3 columns. So as Excel sheet, I can say register demo test data. You can give a sheet name, anything. I'm just giving register user. So first name, last name, then it is email, then it is pin code, right? Because let's try to do with the numeric. We have the updated version, right? So we know something. Okay. Something. So let's try to read this. The name is register. Okay, let it be here. So first, what we have to do is, first we should be able to give the Excel path. First, we should know where this Excel path and then Excel sheet. So what is the name of an Excel sheet? It is register user. We know it. Path, let's try to find it. How to find it? Very easy. Test data, we have it. Refresh it. You'll get here. Right click, go to the properties, copy this. Actually, till test data is enough. You can put that dot here. Control V dot. Automatically, it will read it. We have used this in the WebDriver concept. Same thing. Now we are going to use this particular Excel utility. The Excel utility, all these methods are available here. It's an Excel reader. So all these method, if we want to use it, means create the object instance of that particular class. So class name, object name equal to new class name constructor, and what are all the two values? We are passing the path of the worksheet and then name of the worksheet, and you will get this warning message, import Excel reader. Okay, then here comes so these are all the data we have hard coded it. Let's try to read it from this particular Excel sheet. Let me close this. Let's keep this as a reference. So we have how many? Okay, anyhow, everything we try to make it as a method. So these values we have to give it. Okay, let it be here, or else it will not give suggestion. Whenever there is an error, it will not give some suggestion. It will be like this. If you think conceptually, this is nothing but the row and column is 3. Anyhow, we will try to find it during runtime. How? First, we should know what is the total rows, because here I should mention the row, right? How can we find it? So the object name dot get row count. This will give the total row count. It is going to be of integer data type, row count. This is nothing but the total number of rows we are passing it. Okay, here one twist will be there. Let me put it later. Row count, and then we must know what is the column count. Okay, same way, Excel dot get column count. This will give the total number of column count, which we will mention it here. So int column count. Two things are done. Now comes the confusion part. Here definitely 99% everyone will get confused, but visualize and tell me. See here, in the previous example, actually while reading all these data, we will not consider the column name. We will always consider the value. It means from the leaving the first row, the next row we will start. If that is the case, in this example, we want to save this values. So I don't want to consider this particular row. What is the row count we will be getting? It is 4. No doubt on it. It is 4, but I'm not going to read this value, right? I'm not going to read this value. I don't want this while creating a 2-dimensional data. So 4 minus 1, row count minus 1. And the column count, we no need to worry about it. Anyhow, that is going to be fixed. If you increase this also, this will be dynamic, but row is something like first row, I am not going to consider it. Is that clear to everyone? Please ping me. Then only I will go to the next one. Please ping me, team. Is everyone clear till now? All clear? Please ping me. YouTube guys, please ping me how we are doing it here. That is, we are not considering the first row. That's why I'm giving the value minus 1. I'm waiting for a reply from YouTube. Okay, thank you, Anil. Now, see, return. There is no big difference. See, I'm just increasing the same way. Here I have hard coded it. Here I'm going to give it dynamically. Already I said column will be fixed, row will be dynamic. But what is the twist here is The row value, usually while reading the data, first row I will not consider, nothing but each column names I will not consider. Not me, everyone. That's why if you go and check it in the frameworks in the organization, they will mention -1. Okay. Now, for loop, how we learned the for loop in the data driven, same way we have to do it. Two for loop, first for the row, second for the column. Now another confusion is going to come. First is for row. So int row equal to 1, because we are starting from here, right? I don't want this, the 0th row. I'm starting from here, read from here. That is why int row equal to 1. And then row is less than row count, row plus plus. Next column, just ping me. The column will be 0 or 1. Just ping me. The column will be 0 or 1. Column will be, you have to ping me the answer. No other way. You have to ping me 0 or 1. The reason why there is no, the call with column name, we can't process it, Kamesh, because the values are the one I want to save it. Then I no need to consider the column, because in the data driven, it will go and enter Vinoth R. If you consider first name, last name, this will also go and enter in the name of wherever you are mentioned first name, last name, it will go and type just first name, last name. It will create an impact. That's why in the data driven, we will not consider the first row. So all 3 of them said 3, 4. Good. Very good, team. Let me check it in the YouTube. Okay, perfect. All of them in sync. Good. So I am going very slowly this topic. Actually, 25 days, I would have completed the entire module. We are on 30th day, still not time. Let's go slowly. Okay, everyone rightly answer. Column equal to 0. Column is less than column count, column plus plus. Okay. Now, see here, you're going to save data. That is nothing but the name of that 2-dimensional variable and row comma column. In 0th row and 0th column, save this value. In 0th row, first column, save this value. That is what we are saying it here. Same way, here, I should mention it, right? Again, now what I should mention like this, 0, 0, comma 0. This should come 0, this should come 0. So column, it is 0 only. What about row? What is the value of row? It is 1. So I have to put -1. Equal to cell data. Cell data means the data which you are reading it. I'm giving a name like that. Yeah. Cell data. Okay. Sorry, guys. One more step. I forgot. I should first read that, right? Okay. I should read it. Get cell data. So I want to read all the values from an Excel sheet, right? Then Excel dot it is get cell data. We have to pass the row and the column. So what will happen during runtime? It will try to read like this, one by one by one by one. This is all string data type. So string cell data. Now comes this part. Here, nothing but data 0, comma 0, I should save it. Column, already we mentioned 0, but row we are starting with 1. But in 2 dimension, I should make this as a 0. So 1 minus 1. So row value 1. So minus 1 only, if I mention, then only this value will become 0. Now what happens? It will try to read all the values from an Excel sheet and save it into a table, two-dimensional table. Then it will try to print for 3 set of values. Even if you put like 6 set, it will work. Maybe I'll try to change the pin code simply. Okay. Something like this. So this is again, this one is nothing but reading the data, cell comma column. That's what we have written a program, get cell data. And this is nothing but 0 comma 0. That is the place in two-dimensional array we will save it. So row we starting with 1. So minus 1, 0, 0. In that cell, two-dimensional Java cell, it will try to save each value. Each value means that is the first value. This one. This will be 0, 0, 0, 1. This will, yeah, it is reading it from here. This value, it is reading it from here. Row is 1. But while saving this in the two-dimensional, that is in the temporary memory or runtime memory, it should save it in 0 comma 0. That's why I'm putting minus 1. Let's see how this program works. We can execute it. Okay. Cleaning up, zip file, class not found. Okay. Schema error. XML bean issue. Okay. There is a POM which we mentioned that is having an issue. 1 minute. Unwanted things also will cause an issue. Let's see. Paka. What happened? 6 set of data executed. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. You can have n number of rows. And very important, I didn't mention 6000100 as an string. I mentioned as an numeric only, but in the code it is handled to convert that to the string. So what is the name of that? String dot string of. That one is very important. Again, that's an interview question. Go to that, not this one. Go to that Excel reader. This one, note it down. How will you convert a numeric to a string? String dot value of. If you mention, it will be done. So all clear till now, team. All clear. Please ping me, YouTube, and again Zoom team. How we have implemented this simple program we converted to Excel reading mechanism. I didn't mention Selenium code. If you mention Selenium code like driver.find elements in the place of first name, if you mention this one, automatically it is going to enter it. All clear. Good. All clear. What about others? Okay. It's very easy. And rewatch this video again when you come for this topic. Thank you, Praful Anil. Okay, now just think it as an developer, guys. Now you have to answer me. What is the problem? I just in the Zoom only you can reply me. What is the issue of this? Is how you can see, this is the final way. This is how you can use the data provider concept. What is the problem here? If we go with this particular concept, what is the problem with that? I can show you some clue. What is the problem? We have around how many columns? If we go with the existing code, the existing code is 100% correct team. There is no doubt on that. 100% it is correct. But what is the problem of using this concept? We have 3 columns. In real-time scenario, you want to register demo means how many columns you have? Around 27 columns. So what is the problem here? Can someone please reply me in the message or text? That is, you can unmute and tell what is the problem in this particular program. We have a test data like this, 27 columns. What problem we will face it if we follow this logic? "27 columns. So what are all the modifications you will be doing it in the simple register user method? Please type and ping me. Let's assume 25 column name. Yes, Sharath. Adding column names. I have to add first name, last name. What are all the, okay, first name, last name, gender, street address, apartment number, like this in a sequential way. If we apply, if we mention like that, 100% program will work. 100% program will work. But my question is that a good way to do it? Tomorrow 50 columns, a program will work, no doubt on it. Is that a good way? Everyone should be able to understand why we are going for Java collections. This is the point to that. Everyone able to get it right. Why we are learning something. It will be a lengthy one. Yes, Ashwati, Sharad, perfect. I can't mention 50 columns in a sim here. That's going to be a biggest troublesome, right? Even though it will work. So I should do some way in order to handle the data. Actually, it is handled in the framework, which I have already given you, hash table concept. So this is the place where Java collections comes into the picture. But with this, we have completed the TestNG, and that particular code belongs to the framework. I'll be teaching you hash, that is Java collections to now. That framework, it will be after 8, or I will teach to that Zoom guys later. But everyone must understand what is the problem with the existing code. The problem here is the number of columns. It will be lengthy. So now let's move on to the Java collection. So we are successfully completed the TestNG module with this program. Actually, we completed. As per the TestNG, what is the annotation used is it's a data provider for data-driven framework. Again, now if you go to the first slide, which I skipped it, what are all the advantages of TestNG? Whatever we learned, everything is an advantage. Annotation is very easy. Test case can be group concept we completed. Priority we completed. Support parameterization, that is using Excel. .xml, we can do the parameterization at parameter, can pass it. Support data-driven framework. How? Using data provider. Batch of test execution. In the XML, we can configure it. Parallel execution. Parallel equal to, we will mention methods or test. Flexible runtime configuration. It's very easy in the XML stuff. XML we can able to configure it very easily. and support variety of other plugins like Maven, other stuff. And when you complete execution, automatically HTML report will be generated. Those features and all, we don't have it in the just Selenium one. So these are all, whatever the topic we learn, retry, so many things are there. If anyone asks you for the advantages of TestNG, that is like they are trying to create some problem for you, because whatever the word you will say for the advantage, you should be in a ready to explain. In sense, if you tell data driven method can be done using data provider, means you should able to explain this concept. What is the way we will give the data, that is as an object, how multi-dimensional array will be mentioned. So everyone can able to understand, but how to explain this to an interview is something very tough point. Anyhow, still how to explain the interview question module is pending for the Zoom guys. No worries, I'll be teaching you those things very soon. Even though interview questions are already shared, I will also teach you how to explain the frameworks and other stuff. But remember, this technical part explaining in simple languages, like it is quite complex only. I'll teach you very soon. You can note it down and then by heart it, just go and tell the same way in the interview. So that's about the TestNG team. Successfully, we completed TestNG, Java, then Selenium, Maven, Jenkins, DevOps, everything. 6 modules we completed. Now this one I'm just adding, which is not in the syllabus, just for the interview, because nowadays I got a feedback like a lot of interview questions are asked from the Java collections. That's the main reason I'm going to add the next module. It's not a module, it's in the existing Java. Still the program is not available in the Canvas portal because I never taught this concept to the previous batches. So now only I'm going to teach that. You can go and check it in A to Z automation under the modules. I don't think I've added coder. Java part 2 only it is there. Module 2 Java collection added. Still exception handling only it is added. Very soon I will add the collection also because it's a new topic. Okay, let's go to the collection. We have around how many minutes? Okay, enough time. Next week we will start with the Cucumber team. After that we'll start with the manual testing. I think Cucumber I can wind up in mostly in 2 classes, if not maximum 3 classes. After that it's a manual testing, then web services. So these are all we completed. Yes. Java collection. Okay. So before we enter into Java collection, we must understand why we are learning it. I have shown you the real place where Java collection is going to play a very big role. So this is the one place, real time scenario. Definitely, if they ask you in an interview, you can tell how the data is handled, means it is with the help of hash table or whatever the concept I'm going to mention in the framework, that you can tell it, so that we can pass in just a single column. That's the pretty thing about hash table. All comes under the Java collection. Okay. Before that, why we want to learn Java collection? So let's come from the basics. So if you want to save a particular value, what you will do, you will use the variable concept. See, we will use the variable concept. What, for example, if you want to save 100 values, means 100 variables. This is not a feasible solution. So then what we are deciding, let's go with the arrays concept. So in the arrays, what we can do, we can store multiple values in single variable. That's a great thing, right? Just in one variable, like 100, 200 values, we can save it. When we talk about array, 2 points should come into the picture. Always array start with the index. It means 0. And only similar data type we can save it. Similar data type means if you're going to create an array, it's a one-dimensional array or multi-dimensional array, all the values inside that must be of string data type or int or float or double, whatever it is, but only homogeneous. Perfect, Sharath. Homogeneous data. So here, what is the problem is, one is homogeneous data, another one is the drawback. Because when we find the drawback only, we will go for the next concept. One is homogeneous. I can't save multiple values like one string, one int, like that. It's not possible. That's a one problem. Another problem is size limit. See here, fixed data size. So what is a big thing here? For example, you are trying to, you already set like I'm going to save 10 values, but you use just one value, means rest of the memory is totally waste, right? Because you just used only one value. So waste of memory space. That's one problem. Another problem, okay, 10 value, you are saving it. What if you add 11th value? Again, it will throw the exception, out of array, out of bound exception, blah, blah, it will tell. So three problems we have it. One is homogeneous data, another one is size data, that is waste of memory or exception. So these problems we have it. There comes the Java collection. So in Java collection, the good thing is you don't need to worry about these and all. You can able to save the values of multiple data type, and the size are dynamically added during runtime. So that's about the Java collection. 1 minute, just give me a second. Okay. Okay, this query I will reply at the end. Fine. I just saw I got the query. So Java collection. Java collection means it's a representation of a single unit of an object. For example, we all collection. First, we will understand what is collection. Maybe like we all are human being. Then animal is in one collection. That's an unit of object, right? It's a group, right? Represent a single unit of a particular object. Employees or a group of object. That is what we simple way to understand what's a collection of something. And then collection framework. Again, these nodes are referred from Java T point. You can learn it from there. And remember, what I am teaching you is some additional topic. What is important for interview? This Java collection topic is equivalent to Java, core Java, which we learned for almost like 10 classes. So I am not going to teach entire Java collection, then it will take additional 10 to 15 classes, which is not at all needed for Selenium. But what is important for interview only, we are just focusing it. But still, if you want to learn Java T point, you can refer it. So what they are doing, they are creating a framework in Java that is called collection framework, represented an unified architecture for storing and manipulating group of objects. In simple word, you are going to save all the values. So saving and manipulating means like sorting, all those stuff we can able to do it. Add, yes, add, delete, fetch, sort, all the stuff. Yes, correct, Sharath, you're correct. So that is called manipulating data. So for this itself, they have created a collection framework. So for this, do you want to add jar file? No need. It is a part of Java, java.land, I think so. Yeah. retain everything. So what are all available inside that? It is having the classes, interfaces, we have seen what is an interface, we have seen what is the class, its implementation, and also some of the algorithms. So collection of this comes as a Java collection framework. Then this is a hierarchy of collection framework. See here, such a big diagram. We are not going to do or focus everything. What is important? Let's try to focus it in interview point of. So the top interface is IEEE. Then sub comes the collection. It's all interface, blue color. Green color means classes. This collection having three interface. One is list, another one is queue, another one is set. Famous interview question. What is the difference between list and set? We'll see that. Again, all these we are going to save the data, manipulate the data. That's it. For that, why we need this much means based on the requirement, we have to choose it. Saving the value, manipulating, deleting, adding, removing, etc. So we have list, set, and queue. Okay, in list means it's a array list, linked list. What's the difference between array list and linked list? Another interview question. And vector, stack, and all that, not that much important, but still you can see it. And set, what is the difference between hash set and linked hash set? Interview question. Then queue mostly they won't focus, but still we will see what it is. So we understood that we are going to add the data, do some manipulation, add and do some manipulation. That is what the definition said. The definition storing and manipulating. So one slide I missed. And why we are learning this? Again, it's growable. It uses both the homogeneous and heterogeneous data. It means we can save same data. Map is an interface, but that is an independent interface. That will not come under this one. That's the next slide, no worries. Then for every element, for every requirement, ready-made methods are available. Directly you can use it. What is the biggest drawback in the collection is, of course, when compared to Java arrays, the performance is slow. And this is the one other important point. It hold only objects, but not primitive. Not primitive means what? Not like int, float, string. We can't save it. Everything as an object only, we will save it. That's why when they used this concept, collection concept in the creating this data provider means they are making everything as an object. Whenever object comes into the picture, map is also there. I understood. That's why I added that also. No worries. I'll show that for your happiness. See collection. See map interface also I added. No worries. It's an independent interface. That keep it in mind. It will not fall under the collection, this framework. It's an independent because we have hash map, hash set. We have it. We will see that example also. No worries. Again, these 3 to 4 interview questions only they will ask it. Now we will see with an example. Very simple understanding. When let's focus in terms of interview, list and set. You're going to save a value. See, list. Another one is set. You're going to save a value. If you want or an add a value means here when you adding the value. When you add, it will be adding in a sequential way. Sequential way. It means what? It is following some index concept. So ordered value. Here, when you add, you can add it, but it is an ordered way. That is, it will not follow no index concept. I'm talking in terms of easiest way to remember this tough topic. And here, while adding, duplicate values are allowed. Remember these point more than enough. Here, no duplicate. Why? Set will never allow any duplicate value. If you have a duplicate, what is the last value? It is similar value, that only it will consider. This is the reason, because in some places we will use the list, in some places set will be very helpful. Example, we have already used this in the Selenium, that is handling the multiple browser. You will save that multiple browser ID. If you all remember, it uses the set concept. It means what? The dynamic ID which is generated, it should not be duplicates. There we use this set. In data manipulation, now only Python is very famous. Before and all, data analytics, data cleaning, I'm talking about data science, data cleaning, data handling. At that time, we should remove all the duplicate value, means we will use this set concept, just for information. But the difference between list and set is a very common interview question, not only in Java, even in Python, it remains the same. So these 2 points, list is a child of collection interface. See, if you see it above, where it is, list is the child of collection. Insertion order is preserved, duplication is allowed. Set means child of collection, insertion order is not preserved, duplicates are not allowed. That is what I said in a very simple word. Index is followed in list. Here no index concept. We can say it's an unordered list insertion, that they will not do it. And very important is highlighted one. Duplicate is not allowed in the set. So difference between list and set, one big interview question we are done. Then what is queue? Queue means it's an interface, again child of collection interface. Java queue interface orders the element in FIFO, first in first out manner. So in FIFO, first element is removed first and last element. So in a sequential way, it will try to process the data. A very famous example, if you Google it, you will get the sending an email. For example, I want to send a group like email to 50 members. We will mention with comma, right? Not all 50 members will get my email at the same time. There will be microseconds with difference. One by one email ID in a sequential, that is first in, first out. Which is the first email ID mentioned? So it will form the queue. One by one, everyone will get the email. This is a very famous scenario. You can Google it, you will get this example. That's one example. If anyone knows other examples, can let me know. And again, map interface, we'll come back to this later. That is, it's a dictionary concept in Python for easy understanding. Key and value pair. We have already seen this concept even in the properties files, key and value. Okay, array list. Let's try to see some practical program. TestNG Java for automation. Very easy only. Here, there is no complex and all. Because the person itself will know that for automation resource, they just check whether you have an idea about this or not. Com next gen AI Java collections. Okay, let me create one simple program. Array list example. You can find the same type of programs in Java T-Point also. So many programs are available. I'm just making it some easy examples. I have already said here we can able to save all set of value. So array list, if you see it, where it is, this one, array list falls under the list. Then linked list is there. After teaching this, I will tell what is the difference. First, we'll focus on array list. So create the object instance for that. Is there any? Okay, YouTube is fine. Okay. Array, create the object instance for array list. See, I'm just creating like this for creating an employee. Well, let allow everything under which package? Java util package. This is correct because I have already said you of something called we can able to add all types of data, that is employee dot. But see here, everything it is considering as an object, not as an okay. Let me add it and see. Okay, Vinoth employee dot. Still, I didn't start the program. Before that, this is like a prerequisite. Some information I'm giving you. 1, 2, 3. Integer value. This is not this way. You can't do it in the array. It's all different data type. So null. Then what else? Any other? Okay. F. Sys out. EMP. Let's try to print it out. Can you all able to see the advantage of Java collections? First thing, which is not possible in the arrays. Again, it's a non-generic, of course, but because in the generic, I will be saying like give as a string, give as an integer, right? But just few minutes before I said in the array, you are saying different data types are not possible, but here possible, right? Why you are giving string like that? Question will come. Before that itself, I'm just proving you all guys, right? We can able to add all type of values, but here what is the twist is all the values it is considering as an object. Object means what? You can't do any manipulation between this and other. If you want to add, for example, here I'm putting some value anyhow, maybe like 3, like this. If you want to add addition of this 2 number based on the index, it will not work out. The problem is it deals as an object. That's a drawback of collections. So again, that is what here it is mentioned. It can hold only object, not primitive. Everything is an object. But still, this is a non-generic one. That's why we have something called generic array list. How? Just you have to mention what it is like. Anyhow, in real-time scenario, we are going to save some value, all string value, integer value, even with the mixed is also fine. But my requirement, it is going to be of all string value. That data type, it's a wrapper class. You should mention the wrapper class. Again, wrapper class, that's another word, right? Okay, wrapper class in Java. It's very easy, no worries. I'll show you directly. See, these are all the wrapper class. We have seen the integer data like character, byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean. So what is a wrapper class is like this. You have to mention here the wrapper class of that particular data type. Char means, I think only for 2 to 3 it will be very. Char alone, it char and integer. Char means character. You have to give. Byte means it's a byte. Short means it's a short. Integer means int will be there. We have to make integer. Wrapper class. Inside this we have it. Long, float, double, boolean. So everything remains the same, just 2 data type. That is for char, it is character. For int, it is integer. These are the wrapper class of this primitive data. So here you have to mention the wrapper class. Okay, same way here also. Yes, Now, what is the meaning of this? It's a generic array list. I'm going to save all the data are string. In case now, if you give some other value, it will not allow. That is like giving an integer, it will not allow. Let me try to add the data like dot see object. What are all the methods available inside this array list? You can see, you can add it as a string, add all multiple values. You can clear it, clone it, whether you have anything or not. Contains, you can check contains all, then equals method there for each, then get the value using the index. You can find the hash code of that particular value. Then it is an empty iterator concept. What is the last index of that particular object? You can remove the value. I think delete is also there. Retain all the value. What is the total number of values? Size. You can sort it. So many methods we have it. See? So that's the advantage of using this one. Let me try to add it. Let's go with simple example. Before that itself, let me try to print it and see what it will give. See, list in the square bracket, it is null, nothing is there. Now during runtime, we can add it like first value. I'm just going to add the names as usual, no names only. This time some other new name. Steamer. Anand. Okay. Here, if you have noticed something, this Anand is duplicate value. It is having twice duplicate. Here also there, here also there. Two places. Let's try to execute now. Again, see, it is adding or added in the sequential way. Vinoth, Anand, Pranav, Rahul, Anand. That's why this is called ordered list. So every time it follow the sequence. Index, it means what? It is adding in a sequence. The index comes into the picture. And again, duplicate. Anand is twice. It's allowed. And index means what is the index of Vinod? It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, index constant. You can, this is just mentioning the object, it will print, or else you can also use for loop, for each, anything is fine. For each means, again, how? In a column, what is the object? In employee, it is there. And what is like IJK? We have to put the name. And what is its wrapper class? It's a string. For each, or else you have to put dot list, I is equal to 0, 1, like that also fine. This is the easiest way. I can put the name, the employee is so it will try to iterate it one by one based on the index value. Vinoth, Anand, Pranav, Rahul, Anand. Perfect. For loop is also done. Now we try to put all other methods. I want to find the total count of it. 1 minute. I can get some answers. Can we escape? I will discuss that, Sharath. So now you want to find total size of it. It is size. Total count of the one. How many? We have 5 values, 5 elements, size 1. I want to retrieve some particular value based on the index get. If you put 0, 1, 2, 2 means it's a pronoun. 0, 1, 2, it's working. And also you can update the value. Let me copy this. emp dot set. So replaces the element at a specified position in the list with the specified element. So at the place of Rahul, okay, let me replace me. At the place of 0, you replaced with, maybe let's put team member name, Sharath. Let's execute. Okay, I have to print and see now. Whether Sharath replaced Vinoth. See here. Initially it was Vinoth. Now it replaced based on the index number. So we can retrieve it, total count, we can replace it. Replace means it's a set. What else there? If you want, you can remove all. Okay, if I want to sort it, let's try to do that. Very easy. Collection dot sort. So collections Java item sort that particular list. See here. Okay. After sort, print it. See, it's printed. Again, duplicate. Yes, it's still allowed. You can sort it. Then what else? You can, again, you can remove it. That's a one thing. Remove based on the integer. Let's go with based on the integer. Okay, which one to remove? 0, 1. I want to remove 1 duplicate value, right? It means what? Anand should not be there. Yes, Anand is removed. Anand is removed. You can also remove based on the remove object. Object means within the double quote. Let me remove Pranav. See here. Yes, it's removed, true. You can no need to put that inside sysort, but I'm just copy pasted. It removed it. Actually, directly you can put like this. Makes sense. That's why you're getting that. What is the value it removed? Now Paka. So this one here we are removing Anand. Here we are removing which one? Collection. Okay, this one is sort, and this one removing Anand. This one removing Prana. Automatically the index are getting adjusted. I want to remove everything. Is it possible? Yes, you can remove all also. Remove all from that employee object. Now it should be empty list. See, empty list. So that's about the set. Very simple. Sorry, extremely sorry. That's about the list. Very simple. List means what are all the important points to remember? Insertion order is preserved, duplicate is allowed. Just now we saw insertion order. Exactly, it is following the insertion order. Index concept, it means index concept is there. Duplicate value it is allowing. So everything it is allowing. And in addition to that, we have so many reusable, readily available methods like size, get, set, remove, removal, sort. Many algorithms we have it. You can inside the collections, you can see it. We have a class. It's a class, see, collection class. A lot of algorithms we have it inside this, shuffle it, synchronized, and modified. You can do it. But this is about the Java list. Java list can contain duplicate elements, maintains the insertion order. Just now we know it's a non-synchronized. Any idea what is Sharath? There is something called multi-threading concept, uh, which is thread safe. It means one at a time. Parallelly, you in this concept multi-threading we used in parallel execution of TestNG, right? So this is non-synchronized, means you can't have multiple threads, only single one. And again, random access, it works based on the index concept. And what is the drawback of array list is it is a bit slower than linked list. Then that's the next concept. In Java, because a lot of shifting needs to occur if any of the element is removed. There comes the next interview question. What is the difference between array list and versus the linked list? Linked list, I'm not going to explain you. That's again a big concept. Just go to this linked list in Java. Go to the images. You can go and see this, how everything, it's all based on the links. Anyhow, I can't complete it today. Mostly next week we will have it, right? I will try to give an overview about it. In simple, why we want to use linked list is in array list, the problem is it is slow. That issue is resolved in the linked list. Rest of the things are same. Here we have queue thing, we have list thing. For it is a better for manipulating the data, especially when you go for data science. We'll go for the linked list. We will come back to this slide later. Let's go to the set concept. In that, I'm using the which one? So array list is done. Next week we will see the difference. Set hash set we'll see that one program. Then mapping concept and all we will see next week. Just copy and paste this one hash set example. Okay. So hash set means you have to create the object instance for the hash set. So that's the first difference. Instead of this, instead of Control Z, okay. Instead of this, you're going to creation add set. That's minute difference only. Hash set generic again string employee equal to new hash set string object constructor imported. Okay, some of the methods are not available. See, you can see the error. I purposefully reusing the same code so that easy for you to understand. Same data. Let's try to print it and use the for loop. Since it does not following the insertion order, there is no index concept. It means what? You can't retrieve using the index. It's not possible. You can't replace with the index. Wherever we mentioned index, sort, let me remove it. So we will try to remove all the stuff. Most of the methods are common. Let me execute and show you. First of all, we already knew it. What is the sequence in which we added? It is Vinoth and Pranav Raghunanan. Is that in the same sequence? No, it didn't follow the sequence. It's just added in this way. and total number of size, it's 4. And if you noticed, Anand is having twice, but see, the value of Anand is only once. So that's the advantage of set. In the set, duplicate values are not allowed. I hope you all got that concept. Now, see here. Here, if you execute, you can see the duplicate value, Anand, Anand. But here, in the set concept, it is not allowed. That's our first takeaway point. Same thing. Object, the same thing. Size, those things will come. Here, you can also remove it. Let's see what other methods available. Sometimes easiest way is type the object name. You can add on, you can clear it so that empty will be there. Check whether it is there or not. Contains. So Boolean will get true or false. Is an empty. In the for loop or in while loop, we can check. Then remove. You can able to remove it actually, but with the help of object. Object means what? The object name which we mentioned. Which name? Okay. Let me remove Vinoth again and see whether the list how it looks like. So Vinoth it removed and the final list like this. That's a one more. That's a one method. Or anything else after remove? I think size retain. There is no big difference. Usually, in real-time scenario, you can use the list concept when you want to use hash set concept. As hash set concept is when you want to remove. The main reason is to remove the duplicates. That's the one interview question. Now we have a very strong understanding about it. Again, here stores the element by using a mechanism called hashing concept. Go and Google it. It's an again a very big concept. I'm not going to teach you, but it's a very interesting one, and it contains only unique elements, no duplicates, and also null also allowed. It is also non-synchronized. That is, it does not allow multi-threading concept. It does not maintain the order. So here that it literally works based on the hashing. So it follows some, you can go and see it here. So some hashing concept, how this will go and add it. Very big concept. Based on that only it works, and it's the best approach for such operation. And these are all like additional points, not that much important. Again, difference between hash set and linked hash set we will see next week. Then map, hash map, hash set, hash map. Any of still map interface we didn't cover. We'll see that next week. So we started with the collection. You all understood why we are going for the collection. In that, mainly three interface collection interface. One is list, set, and queue. Queue, we are not going to see any program. List means duplicate value allowed. Insertion order is preserved. In set, duplicate values are not allowed. Insertion value is not preserved. That's the minute difference. Now let me show this. Whatever we learned, actually we already implemented in the automation. Let me show you some sample code. So without knowing it itself, we learned. And the project, multi-browser, multiple browser, get window handles. See, we are, if you type get window driver dot get window handle, it itself will suggest you get window handle. See, use the set. It means what? When we trying to retrieve the window ID in dynamic, that is multiple browser, what if you have same value if you get it? it will create a problem, right? So if you use set means duplicates are, it will be removed. This is one example. And again, iterator is another concept where hash next will come. Again, if we have a time, we will see next week. Then what else? Where I used tag name, validate text, web table. Yes, dynamic web table. We used list concept. List of web elements, we are saving it. Everything are web elements. Using the help of tag name, we save it as a list. List and set. Now, hope you're getting what it means. Okay. So these are all some real-time example we already implemented in the Selenium. Just now we are knowing it. What is that for? So I think it's time to end this today class. Next week, once again, a new month. Once again, I think I can wind up the Java collection. Just one more program is there, one or two more program. Next week itself, we will start the Cucumber, or else one theory topic is there, automation lifecycle management, that I will add it on Sunday, because that one video I want to make it for that particular topic. So maybe some theory, which is very important, how we will do the estimations and all, we will see it on Saturday. Sunday, we will see Cucumber. So that's from my side, team. Let me first check, is there any query from YouTube team? Is everyone good, team? Good till now? Please let me know so that I can end the streaming, and then I will be having discussion with Zoom team. I will clarify all your queries one by one. I can't see the Neha message retracted. All good. Thank you, Pramod, everyone. Okay, team, I'm just stopping the streaming. Good night. Thank you. Have a great week ahead. We'll see you next week. Bye all.